Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the all-new 2019 Jeep Renegade, and this particular one is a Trailhawk, and then also I picked out one with the new 1.3 liter turbocharged motor. So as always, we're going to do a quick walk around on the Jeep, then we're going to take it out to see how it drives. A big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller, Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy, Utah, for providing us with the vehicle. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, check them out, and then yeah, let's just get right into it. Hood prop. Under the hood here, we have two different engines you can get. This one has the new 1.3 liter, which has 177 horsepower and 200 pound-feet of torque. That's all through a 9-speed automatic transmission. The other engine option that's been around for a while is a 2.4 liter with 180 horsepower and then 175 pound-feet of torque. Again, 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy on this turbocharged motor is going to be 23 around town, 29 on the highway, whereas the 2.4 liter is going to be 22 around town and then 30 on the highway. So this Renegade is finished in granite crystal, and here's kind of like a front view on the Jeep, but you can see it's kind of like a dark metallic gray. I like the Trailhawks because they have this hood decal. It shows a little bit more on like white, for example, just because you can see the matte black a little bit more. This one has the new LED light package. Is all new for 2019 on the Renegades. So you can see you've got full LED lights right there. Fog lights are down below, and then since this is the Trailhawk, it's going to have the red tow hooks on the front, and then you've got your signature Jeep grille on the front end. On the side here, we have these 17-inch alloy rims with two 15mm tires on the front and the rear. So yes, the Renegade kind of comes with Prius tires, but you can see they're at least a little bit more aggressive. So because this again is the Trailhawk, it's a little bit better for the off-road. And then you've got your little trail rated badge there on the side, and you can see that you've got Renegade badge with some red outlining because that's sporty and, you know, it looks cooler for like an off-road type vehicle. Here is the key fob for the Trailhawk. So you can see you've got a couple functions: lock and unlock and remote start. If we press that button twice, first time we'll lock it, and then second time we'll start it up. Boom. And you can hear that 1.3 liter is not very loud, but press that again and that'll shut it off. And if we fully unlock the Renegade, it does not have a power lift tailgate, it's just hydraulic. So gotta just pick that up. You can see storage space back here is actually pretty good for a smaller sized SUV, and then you can see that you get a spare tire underneath. You got these little cargo nets for extra storage, so that's kind of neat. You can fold these seats down if you need a little bit of extra storage in the rear, and then they give you this little handle that you can kind of grab on, but I usually just grab the bottom of the tailgate. You can see right here full LED lights in the back. I love the look of these new lights on the Renegade, especially you can see how they illuminate. That just looks really cool, especially at night. More Trailhawk badging, and then another red tow hook because sporty and off-road. Now coming around to the side here, we can look at the door panel here in the rear, and this one's got some nice kind of like leather padding right here. One of the speakers for the sound system. It's your window control and then your regular door handle, and it makes it like you can hear it just coming in there. Cool sound. Anyways, we've got the seats back here, so full cloth. It's got like red stitching to kind of go with that Trailhawk theme, and then you can pull this down, some cup holders, and then right here you can see that there's a little power outlet, and then there's a USB, and you can see the floor's raised a little bit but not a ton, and then legroom here kind of cramped, but again, this is a smaller sized SUV. Now coming up to the front, we've got keyless entry again, so one touch to lock, and then to unlock you just have to put your hand on the back of the door handle. You can see the little mirror right there for the Renegade. But opening up this front door, we can see more of that leather with the window controls right here, and then you've got your little mirror adjustment, door lock and unlock, and again it makes that same sound where you can hear the whole mechanism. You can see the speaker right there. Full power adjustments on the seat with lumbar that you can move up and down the seat. More of the cloth right here with the Trailhawk that goes across. And then you can see the pedal layout just down below. The hood latch is actually right there. Window controls are right here. Those are for the fog lamps. These are dimmers for the screens. And then this is your adjustment right there for the steering wheel, and it is a manual adjustment. To start the Renegade, you just have to put your foot on the brake and push the push start. And by the way, this car is extremely easy to get in and out of. It's not like super low to the ground, but it's low enough to the ground that you can basically just slide on into it. Going over the steering wheel, you can see you've got your cruise control right here. These are the controls for the center screen, and then you've got your voice command controls, and then you've got your regular stock right there for the lights and turn signal as well, and then you've got kind of like all your windshield wiper stocks on that side, and then leather wrap steering wheel, more of that red contrasted stitching. We can see the gauge cluster. So on the left-hand side, you got the RPMs. On the right-hand side, you got the speed, and then you got the little center gauge. And before I go over that, you can see like the little seatbelt people. That tells you who's buckled in and who's not. But you can see there's a bunch of different little screens that you can scroll through, give you different bits of information on the Renegade. Pretty standard in FCA's lineup in general. And now it's telling me that it's on run. Cool, thanks. So normally I don't mention vents like this, but these vents at the top are kind of like, it's like a little cave with vents. That's what it looks like on the dash. You can see the vents right there. Normal. I mean, they're interesting shapes, but normal. And then this is like vent cave. But you can see the 8.4-inch touchscreen is just down below. I've noticed it's kind of hard to get that button. It's responsive, but it's like hard to get that specific button right there. But I'll drag and drop with these functions. You can see the navigation on the Renegade. So, I mean, you can see response time is like instantaneous on this essentially. And then over the climate, you can see it's a dual zone climate with this Renegade Trailhawk. Oh, and of course I forgot to mention the backup camera. So put it into reverse, you can see got little trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel on the backup camera. But now we can go below to the analog controls. So you can see that you've got dual zone climate controls, analog radio controls, your screen off button. You press again, turn on the screen, your mute button, hazard lights, and then we've got a couple cool buttons down here. So your little charging stations are going to be right here. This is for the drive mode, so you can see that you've got a auto, snow, sand, mud, rock, four-wheel low, hill descent control, and then four-wheel lock. All that stuff is to help with the off-road. So you press those buttons to go in those modes, and then for these modes, you press it, you shift the dial, sorry, and you can see that it shows like a little Renegade in the different settings. And I just went into rock, and now it says shift to four-wheel low to go into rock. But yeah, it's just cool that it shows you like a little picture of the Renegade going through the different conditions. Here is our shifter for the 9-speed automatic. You do have dual shift mode if you want to shift the gears yourself. Parking brake is down here, auto stop start to turn that off, and then stability control. This is kind of like your little center console, leather. It actually feels really nice. Red stitching, and if I can figure this out, boom! Got to slide it back. You can open it up. There's extra storage in there, but yeah, actually you can slide this forwards and backwards. But if you have it forward, you can't open it. You have to have it back. Wait, let's see. Oh, you can open it. You just have to reach your hand back awkwardly. There you go, quirk. Anyways, you got a little grab handle up here, and then you can open up the glove box, and you can see that it's got random stuff in there, but decent amount of storage space. Up top, we've got all of our light controls here. These are little microphones for the Bluetooth, and then your regular sun visors, and you can get a little sunroof in the Renegade, I'm pretty sure. So I don't think you can get a panoramic. You might be able to. I'll have to look into that for you guys. But I'm pretty sure you can still get just like a regular little sunroof on these. Sorry if I'm wrong on that. Finishing things up on the Renegade Trailhawk, it's an interesting interior with weird stuff like those vents. And it's got some cool accents with like all the red stuff you can see throughout the interior. In terms of pricing, this one stickers for just over $32,000 before any type of market adjustment. That all being said though, let's take out this 2019 Renegade with the turbo to see how it drives. So before we start off in the new Jeep Renegade, that's the name for the turbo version. So if you're a naturally aspirated Renegade, it's a Renegade. If it's the turbocharged Renegade, it's the Renegade because you're gonna gap people. But anyways, you can see that over the hood visibility is actually really good. It just abruptly ends, super easy to see there. Visibility throughout both of the mirrors, you can see, is decent as well. And then throughout the rest of the interior, they've got pretty nice big windows. That window, I wish it was a little bit bigger in the rear, but there's kind of like a box in general, so it's usually pretty easy to see out of vehicles like this. But let's start off. First, starting off in this Jeep Renegade, and sorry if there's a ton of light from the sun that's blinding you guys because the sun is right in my face. Ride quality and road noise, let's go over that. So in terms of ride quality, it's okay smooth. I do feel quite a bit of bumps in that just because it's a smaller size car. And then road noise, I don't hear a whole lot, but there is a little bit more comes into the cabin, and it's probably because this is a block of cheese essentially. Now let's talk about steering feel with this Jeep Renegade. So the steering is actually really direct. I mean, it just goes right where you want it to go steering wise. You can see the steering, it's light and effortless, but it's pretty tight with how direct it goes, so good on that. And then guys, if you're wondering, I'm not going 50 miles an hour. This is set to kilometers and I need to fix it. There we go, miles an hour. Okay, So I wanted to talk about the transmission. This 9-speed automatic actually shifts pretty quickly through the gears, so it's actually pretty smooth. Now let's get a little acceleration with this Renegade. Oh wow. I mean, once you get into those turbos, it's pretty quick. I mean, I'd be willing to bet some pink slips on this bad boy, but I mean, anyways, in terms of the segment that this is in, it's more than enough power. Vehicles that are kind of in the smaller SUV segment in general don't have a ton of power, but I mean, it's more than ample, and the benefit is you will get better fuel economy. To wrap things up on this Renegade, I actually really like this in general. With this new turbocharged engine, I think this is better than the 1.4 liter. It feels like it gets up and goes quite a bit better. That low end torque is definitely a nice plus. But what I would say is this Trailhawk package, I think it's cool. Yeah, like it gives you all those different little drive modes down there, which is pretty neat. However, I feel like from a price standpoint, the Limited is probably a little bit better value because it gives you better luxury features, and it's pretty similarly priced to this Trailhawk package. So if you are on the market for Renegade, check one out. And I'd recommend, if this kind of works in your budget range, I would check out the Limited too, because this really isn't all that hardcore off-road, and you get more luxury features with the Limited. And there we have it, everyone, the 2019 Renegade Trailhawk with the new turbocharged motor and those cool new LED lights. I think that accent is very, very neat on the car. But as always, if you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe, comment down below what you thought. And then again, a big shout out and thank you to Larry Miller, Dodge Ram, Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy for providing us with the vehicle. Check them out if you're on the market for a new Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, or Ram. I'll see all of you in that next video.